What's up, you guys? Welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to be telling you guys my labor and delivery story with my 1-year-old son. Before I get into this video, make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe. Share the video and comment down below what other videos you guys want to see. So is this my first story time? Yeah, this is my first story time. So I do have a few other ones, but I don't know if I want to tell them. So if you guys want to hear another story time, comment down below and I'll do that for y'all. So let's say, okay, so basically I gave birth to Junior when I was 39 weeks and 4 days. I was dang near 40 weeks, so 39 weeks and 4 days, or 5, one of them. It was like 2-3 days before my due date. So basically, a little backstory. I was supposed to get induced. His birthday is March 9th. I was supposed to get induced March 9th at 9 a.m. but I didn't. I guess when we went to the doctor that day, before, it was like the 8th, yeah. And we went to the doctor. I guess he heard that and was like, well, no, I'm not getting induced. I'm gonna come out naturally. So on March 8th, at like 11 o'clock or almost 12, basically March 9th, I start having stomach pains. And I'm like, is this contractions? Like, cause I didn't have that many Braxton Hicks or anything during my pregnancy. So March 9th, it was like 12 a.m. I'm like, I think I'm having contractions. So I told Deshaun, and I think I told my mom too, and I was like, I don't know if these are contractions, but they hurt a little bit. So I think they may be, but it wasn't painful. So I was like, I guess, you know, it's just a little pain or whatever. So I think maybe 25 minutes later, Deshaun was cooking, and I was like, okay, now these are definitely contractions because it's starting to hurt. So I went downstairs. I'm like, yeah, I think I'm having him tonight because I'm having contractions bad. It's hurting, and I ain't never felt like this before. So I think they're contractions. So basically, it was, I put it on my Snapchat. It was 12:55, and a little of my water broke, and I was like, is this pee? Because I was sitting on the bed and I was talking to Deshaun, and I was like, I think I just peed on myself. And he was like he was so nonchalant. He didn't think I was going into labor or nothing like that. So when I told him I think I peed on myself, I was like, I know it's my water breaking. So I went to the bathroom and I sat on the toilet and I was trying to see if I had to pee, like maybe it was pee. And just more water came out, but it wasn't pee, because I knew, I'm like, there's a difference between you peeing and then the way that felt. It felt like somebody just like pushed the water out. I didn't feel like I pushed it out. So I went back in the room and I was just, because mind you, I already had we was already getting the bags ready and stuff because I was gonna get induced at 9 a.m. So basically everything was packed. We just had a few little items that we needed to like get ready to go that night. So I was just sitting there. He was just like, what you need, blah, blah, blah. And then another big gush came down. And I'm like, I looked down at my pants. They were soaked. I'm like, oh, yeah, this is definitely my water breaking. So we just started packing bags. If y'all watch my labor and delivery vlog on our Navi and Deshaun channel, you would have saw this. I was basically just in my robe, walking around, like while everybody just making sure I got everything I need. So I was just going through the contractions, and this was at 1 in the morning. So I was just going through the contractions. I'm like, okay, now this finna be crazy. So it was, we stayed at the house for probably like 3 hours. I don't think we left until like 3 or 4 in the morning, because I'm like, I watch all the labor and delivery vlogs. I already know, don't go as soon as you having contractions, because this and that, you're gonna be sitting there forever and all of that. So I waited till I was like, okay, I need to go, like this is hurting bad. And also, since your water broke, you can't be not at the hospital for too long because you can get an infection. So it was probably like 4 in the morning. We got everything ready. At this point, I was excited. I'm like, I'm scared to push out the baby because I'm scared it's gonna hurt. But I'm excited because I finally get to meet my first child. Okay, my bad, y'all. Had to go take care of the baby. But where did I leave off? So yeah, like I was saying, I was very excited. I wasn't scared that much. I just wasn't scared. I was just like, I gotta get through this. So ain't no point in being scared because it's gonna happen. So long story short, when we got to the hospital, they dropped me off at the door. Everybody started walking in, and I thought it was gonna be like, oh my gosh, you finna have a baby, hurry, get her on the stretcher, let's get her back there. But it wasn't. They was just like, sitting here, what's your name, just like little personal information. And then they put me on a gurney. We walked to the, was it? No, it wasn't the room I delivered in. Was it? Yes, I think so. Yeah, they didn't move me after I had the baby. So yeah, the room they pushed me in was the room I had the baby in. So when I got in there, I'm like, oh my God, this is finna happen. I'm finna have a baby. But the part I didn't like was like them having to keep sticking me. So when I first got in there, I got undressed. I think I had to use it, so I used the bathroom. And oh yeah, when I was having my contractions, I kept saying I gotta use the bathroom, and they kept telling me, no, you don't. You're gonna go in there and have the baby. That's what that is. It's the pressure from the baby finna come out. So when I got to the hospital, I'm like, I gotta pee. So I think I did pee or do number 2, one of them. And then I got changed into my gown. I got on the bed. They stuck me IV, taking blood, all that. And then she checked me to see how many centimeters I was dilated. Y'all, if y'all haven't had a baby, I don't know how to describe this feeling, but it was the worst feeling ever. And all she did was use 2 fingers in a glove, and that stuff hurt so bad, because I guess because they have to go up so far to check you to see like how many you dilated. But I swear to goodness, every single time they did that shit was so painful. It's like, I don't know, I just never, it was just so painful. I didn't think that would be so painful, but it was. So long story short, they kept checking me. It's like 5 o'clock by now. So they checked me. I was dilating slow. I think when I got there, I was like 3 centimeters dilated, and I was going slow at first. And then, because at the doctor's appointment, I was 1 centimeter. So at the hospital, I was 3 centimeters dilated. Hours went by. All I was doing was just going through the contractions. Kept getting checked, blah, blah, blah. And then finally, I think she came in, I was like 7 or 8 centimeters dilated, and they started preparing for me to have the baby. I was scared once they started setting up. I'm like, I'm really finna have to push. This is crazy. But before I got to the pushing part, I did actually ask for the epidural because it was so painful. So I don't know if y'all saw, but on my stomach, I insert some pictures. I had like some, not rashes, but like my skin was weird. So I couldn't get the epidural because they didn't know what was on my skin. And I was like, at this point, they had to wait for a doctor's consent or something like that to get it. And I'm like, I'm 9 centimeters dilated, like forget it, let's just go. So I didn't get the epidural. And I'm glad I didn't, because now I know how it feels. So for the next baby, I won't get an epidural either, because I know how it feels. It wasn't that bad. It's just the contractions I had to get through. So basically, I had to use it, but I couldn't. So they was like, your bladder is full. You gotta get all of this fluid out. So they told me I needed a catheter. And I was like, a catheter? Like, no. I told my mom, I was like, no. I was finna cry. I'm like, no, not a catheter. So they put it in. The catheter didn't hurt. It was just uncomfortable. I was like, oh my God. It was just so weird of a feeling. So then when I got the catheter, they was just, they put the bedpan in there and emptied out my pee. And then I got ready to push. The pushing part, I don't really remember that much because I had my eyes closed throughout the whole thing. The whole pushing time, I had my eyes closed. I only opened it a few times. because it was just too much. Like, I pushed. I told you I got there at like 4 or 5. The baby was born at like 9:42, so I pushed for like 4 hours, and it was just tiring. I just kept having to push. It was a point where they was telling me like I gotta get the baby out because his heart rate was dropping and stuff like that, and it was just stressful because it's like I kept pushing, but after like 2 hours of pushing, I'm like, okay, I'm tired. I don't feel like I'm pushing anything out. Like, I gave everything. Like, I was pushing for so long, so hard. I busted an eye vessel. Y'all could see it in all the pregnancy vlogs in the hospital. My eye was so red because I busted my eye vessel from pushing so hard. My arms were sore because I had to grab onto the bar so I could get some strength to push. And it was just a crazy time. The pushing didn't hurt. It just felt like I had to dookie at first, and then after that, it's like I didn't even feel it because it was like my stomach was hurting, so I didn't even feel the baby coming out until they got the suction cup. And that's why his head was like weird shaped at the beginning, because they had to suction him out because he was so big. I literally couldn't push him out. Like, I could not get him out. So I think I got his head out, and then they suctioned out the rest, and it was just a feeling of relief. Like, I didn't feel anything the whole time I was pushing until I felt the baby come out, and I was like, it felt like just every stressful thing in my body, every tense thing in my body just released. And it felt so good once they got him out, because I knew I was done pushing. I didn't have to push no more. So yeah, once they pulled him out, I looked. I was like, what the fuck? A freaking baby came out of me. That's my baby. He looked so weird. He looked like an alien, but that's my baby. And I was just happy. So they laid him on my chest, and I just looked down at him. I'm like, what the heck? I'm a mom. This is my baby. And then they started sewing me up. They had to cut me. I didn't rip. They had to cut me from my front to my back because I couldn't get the baby out. It's like because he was 9 pounds and 2 ounces, and I just couldn't get him through the canal, whatever you want to call it. I couldn't get him through, so they had to cut me open, like front to back. So when I had the baby, they had to sew it back up. And y'all, I honestly, that's the only reason I always say I don't know if I have another kid. I know I want one, but that's the only reason I wouldn't want to have one, because of the sewing part. Not even from pushing the baby, my stomach hurting, the contraction, none of that. It was from me getting sewn up. She numbed me like 6 or 7 times in there, and I still felt literally everything. Everybody that walked in, Deshaun's mom, sisters and all of them, everybody that walked in, even my mom and them that was already in there, my grandma and them, they heard me. I was just like, every time she sewed, I'm like, ooh, is she done yet? That hurts. I can feel it. And every time I said I can feel it, they would just like numb me in there with a needle. But so yeah, like I was saying, every time she sewed me up, I literally could feel everything. And I kept saying it, and she kept numbing me, and it didn't numb me at all. So that was the worst part of the whole pregnancy. I would rate the sewing a 10, the contractions a 9, the pushing a 5. But yeah, once she sewed me up, I was like, thank fucking goodness, like, this is over with. That stuff hurt so bad. That was the worst part of the whole day, was her sewing me up. I'm like, oh my God, I never want to have a kid again because of it being sewn up. So yeah, once she sewed me up and stuff like that, then I had the baby on my chest. I told you I was so weak. I literally couldn't hold him, but I just was happy he was right there. I was exhausted. But yeah, that was the best day of my life, the best day ever. I would do it again. Next time, the baby just ain't gonna be big. I told everybody, next pregnancy, I ain't getting big, the baby ain't getting big. I need a little baby so I can push him out easily. We don't need a suction cup, we don't need any of that. So after we was in the hospital, we was gonna leave. We found out he had jaundice. Y'all, I vlogged this whole thing on the Navi and Deshaun channel. It was horrible. He was in there for 9 days, and it just sucked. Like, I didn't never felt that. It felt like I had a baby and like the baby passed or something. That's how it felt, because I left the hospital without a baby and I wasn't pregnant. It was just the saddest week of my life, saddest 9 days of my life. But oh, did I say 9 days? I meant 7. He was in there for a week. It was almost 8 days, but it was just 7. Saddest week of my life. I vlogged it though, so I can look back on it and be like, at least I was strong. And I waited on him, of course, but I was waiting on him. I wouldn't have seen him every day, but the last 2 days I couldn't do it no more. I'm like, I can't go see him. Like, I need to see him when he good and ready to come home. Everybody was like, no, go see him and make him get better, but I just couldn't. I couldn't go see him. And then they told us that we can't touch him or anything because the light, at first it wasn't working. So they was like, he needs to stay under the light as long as possible. So when we started going up there, they used to tell us basically you can't touch him, you can touch him, but you can't move him from under the light. And I'm like, no, I come here to feed him. If I can't do that, I just can't come back. I'm just gonna wait until I can pick him up. So thankfully, 2 days later, he was able to come home. I was happy. I ran up there and got him. I vlogged all of this on an Avi and Deshawn channel. If you go to the pregnancy playlist, you'll see the last like 4 videos is him coming home and stuff like that. So go watch those videos because they're good videos. But yeah, that's the end of this video. It's long enough. Make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe, and comment down below what other videos you guys want to see, and I'll definitely record that for you guys. So I'll see you guys in the next video. Deuces.